So another June means another E3 where there are plenty of disappointing game announcements, and this time it's none other than the long-awaited Avengers game. People have been wondering where this game has been since 2012, and it has been 7 years of joyful anticipation, and I have to say, after watching the E3 announcement, I am incredibly disappointed, and I am not planning on buying this game on release. This was the perfect time to announce an Avengers game, after the last movie in the Infinity Saga, Endgame, made over $2.6 billion at the box office, and because of the incredible ongoing success of the MCU, I believe that there were two ways that the developers could have approached this game. The first way, in my mind, is that they could view this game as a carbon copy of the MCU and ride the Avengers hype train to a successful game. You'd want the storyline to be canon and fall somewhere on the timeline, and if there was any type of multiplayer, you would want to restrict the character list to those that have already been featured in the MCU, and you could even maybe add some of the TV show characters as well. I know people have really been missing those in the movies, and this could have been a really cool addition. If they did this well, they could have added a very cool element where over the next 2 to 3 years, they could release characters from each movie as they released in real life, and this would be an increased incentive to come back and check out the game. This would have been brilliant and would allow for the massive success of the MCU to leak into other media avenues, but from what we saw, they are not doing this, and that's pretty disappointing.
Reactor.
Damn it, they played us.
The second thing that they could have done in my mind is to view this game as a completely different entity from the MCU and have it nowhere near the MCU so they don't even confuse players or the fans. They could add new acquisitions like the Fantastic Four and X-Men and make this game a complete comic book dream. They could have loaded this game up with so many characters and so many fan favorites, and it would have been comic book mayhem. Now, these are the two ways that I think that they could have approached the game, and it would have been successful either way. But instead, they went with option 3 and are kind of mixing the two. If you watch the trailer, you see that Bruce Banner, for example, looks like Mark Ruffalo from the movies. Tony Stark, Iron Man, looks like Robert Downey Jr. from the movies, except that they didn't have these actors voice act for the video game, so they look like their movie counterparts, but they sound differently and they act differently. It's super confusing, and I literally had no idea what was going on or what they were going for when I was watching this trailer. I think that if they wanted to do that, if they didn't want to pay for these voice actors to act these characters, then you would change the appearance, change the way that in-game characters looked so that it wouldn't be too similar to the MCU, but it would still hold true to the comic books.
Do the Avengers pose a danger to society? That was the question, Bruce. That was the question.
Well, we all lost something that day.
This game does not make a lot of sense to me, and from the limited information that we have, there's not going to be multiplayer, and there's not going to be co-op campaign, so it's just a single player game, which right now in the gaming industry does not make any sense at all. If they were to release this game back in 2012 or 2013, back when the original Avengers movie released, then this game would make sense. It would have a place in the gaming industry. But right now, when competitive games and co-op games, like I just talked in my last video about how I'm excited for the co-op campaign in Modern Warfare, and this Avengers game is like 7 years too late and it has no direction. So I'm personally super confused, and I'm not really sure how to feel about this game, except for the fact that I'm disappointed at the way that it's going. There's a chance that I'm wrong, and I really hope that I am, because I'm a huge Marvel fan and I want a good Marvel video game that is similar to the movies or super dissimilar to the movies, like some of the games and the apps that they've come out with. They just need to pick one of the two. I'll be keeping my eye out for different reviews and seeing what other people say about it to see if maybe it's worth me picking up. But right now, I'm not planning on buying this game at all. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click one of the other ones on the screen. And as always, this has been Snowta. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.